Good morning. I'm going to be preparing today an Atkins breakfast that is about maybe 2 grams of carbs. I'm going to be using a little bit of mushroom, I'm going to be using some eggs, and I'm going to be using some nice cheese. So I'm going to be using, Philly Gourmet for this. So it's going to be already pre-sliced meat, very steak'em style, and I'm going to be sauteing that up in a pan with a little bit of cooking spray, which has no carbs, no sugars. And right after I'm done with that, I'm going to throw a little bit of mushroom in there, keep the temperature nice and medium, and then I'm going to throw a couple eggs in there and mix it all up together and make myself kind of like a breakfast hash without the potatoes. So let's get started. So we've got the pan. I've already sprayed it down. I've got my steakums. And we're just waiting for the pan to heat up. We want to usually keep it on medium heat. So right there, straight down in the middle. And we want to give the pan a little bit of time to warm up. It's already starting to get a little bit warm. So here we go. Sorry for the non-steady cam. So what I like to do, I like to layer it all because it's not quite hot enough yet to cook anything. So it's kind of defrosting it at this moment. So putting this together is going to be fairly simple in the end because it's all going to be in the single pan. So alright, we'll get to the next step shortly. So today in this I'm going to be using some black oyster mushrooms. My meat's still cooking in the pan. It's still doing its thing. I'm going to let it for a little while before I start breaking it up with a spatula. I've pulled 4 eggs out of my carton because I won't be using anything to, add to it like milk or heavy cream or anything like that to make the egg mixture more. So I'm going to be hitting it with 4 eggs. Now this is going to be a very high protein breakfast. Now another thing I have here for you people on the Atkins diet is my favorite thing that I can have on the Atkins diet as far as a meat seasoning. This is the Montreal steak seasoning. Grill Mates makes it. It's wonderful. It's got the right amount of sodium, right amount of pepper. It's just great for burgers, steaks. I even put them on salmon burgers just because it elevates the flavors a little bit. Now usually what I do is during the cooking process, because I like to pretend I'm eating a really good steak, is I like to sprinkle a little bit of this on the meat when I make it. Just a little bit, not too much. We don't want to overpower it with the sodium, because sodium is not good for people who are trying to do Atkins, because, a lot of us have high blood pressure and are trying to do this to save our lives. So it's time for me to start moving this around a bit. And I really like to get in there and break it all up. So I'm going to be doing that. Then I'm going to be dicing up my mushrooms. And this is going to be perfect breakfast and possibly lunch portion, because I am hoping to have a little bit left over so I don't have to cook so much later. And seeing since all we can really eat on Atkins is eggs, meat, and cheese, it's not the worst thing in the world to have a pre-prepared lunch. So we're working on this, breaking it down a little bit, because I don't like big chunks in mine. I like stuff that's just, bite size. Cooking this up. And now I think I'm ready for the mushrooms, because it's okay to overcook this. It's steakums. You can't not overcook it, because of the fact that it's, paper thin. There's no medium well on this stuff. So, alright, I'm going to chop up the mushrooms now, which I need both hands for, so I'm ending the video. And I'm going to be adding this shortly. Now I just like to do a rough chop. You don't have to do it as uniform as it looks in here. You can just have chunks of it. And again, I used black oyster mushrooms, and I'm doing them in the side of the pan that the meat wasn't in, because I'd like them to absorb their own flavors from the juice from the meat. Because these are really good for picking up the flavors of anything that you cook it with. Kind of like tofu, except for way less disgusting. It's a consistency thing. I know it's healthy for me, but I'm not eating it. You can eat it. I'm on Atkins, so I don't have to eat that crap. So here we go, breaking this meat up a little more. I didn't realize how much there was in there. And now, it's not going to look the greatest, obviously, because it is Atkins food. But this is actually going to keep me sustained at least until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Because, high protein does that. This is my first day back on Atkins, so I'm trying my damnedest to do it on the cheap, since I'm between paychecks at the moment. But yeah, just keep fooling with it. Incorporate the mushrooms into the meat, let them absorb the flavor. Plenty of salt is already in there because of the Montreal. I don't have to do anything extra to it. I just want to make sure that they're heated up to a level where I can eat them and they won't be gross. And then I'm going to beat my eggs, which I need both hands for yet again. So, alright, taking another pause in the video. Okay, so I've beat my egg. This is cooking up real nice. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take the egg mixture, which I don't believe in the separating the yolk and all that crap. Look, an egg is an egg. You eat the whole thing or you don't. It's good for you. It's got the right balance of cholesterol on both sides. So I'm just going to let this do its thing for a minute, and then I'll start recording again. Okay, now I know what you're thinking. Dude, that looks like a lot of food. No. We're on Atkins now. Portion control is for people not trying to lose weight. Now, I'm not saying don't waste your money. I mean, you're going to end up wasting a little bit of money here and there getting used to the portions that you can have, but, and yes, I'm adding cheese, because this is America, and everything has cheese on it. Even me. So I'm using today a sliced extra sharp cheddar, which is actually one of my favorites. And, there's no carbs and no sugars, so that's a plus. This is Wegmans Family Pack, and it's a really good quality cheese, and I'm just going to let that do its thing on top. The steak is thoroughly cooked, the mushrooms are cooked, the egg is doing its thing. So little by little, this is going to melt down quite nicely. You see how it's getting kind of that cellophane look here? Starting to go a little bit see-through. That's where the heat is coming up through it and melting it down. And I'm not going to bore you with plating. I'm just going to say, this is the best I can do. And this is actually a wonderful Atkins breakfast and lunch. Alright, signing off. Have a great rest of your day, eat well, and don't forget, if you screw up, it's okay. I mean, you're just starting the Atkins diet, you're just starting to do your thing, and we're all going to make mistakes. But, at the end of the day, as long as you keep trying and keep putting your best foot forward, you can make something like this. That's easy, that didn't cost me more than $7 to make, and that's going to be a meal that lasts me at least 2 sessions today. Just remember to spend wisely, because steak is really expensive, chicken is really expensive, depending on which grocery store you go to. Aldi has some good options if you're just starting out on Atkins and you're trying to do it on the cheap. Also, they have wonderful pork rinds. Aldi has, hands down the best pork rinds, no sugar added, really good stuff. Their spicy ones are the best. Check them out. The plain ones taste like garbage. I end up putting hot sauce on them anyway. But yeah, that's me signing off. Y'all have a lovely rest of your day and take care. Bye-bye.